Brisk morning up here at Leavenworth. The usual stuff there. That's a lot of oil tankers. A lot of oil tankers. Actually a pretty short train compared to what's been coming through here. Anyway, back to logging stuff. It's pretty brisk this morning, about 20 degrees here in the river bottoms. I sharpened my saw earlier. Head and sharpened this old chisel chain, this old square tooth chain. Got it all sharp, ready to go. Got the skid steer warming up. I've already fueled and greased and serviced the skidder. We've sent it on up the hill, back to the back. And I'm just here waiting for the first set of logs to come out. Hopefully today we can continue filling up the walnut deck here. And I'd like to get enough to send out another load of oak today, which I don't know what the boys are cutting back there. I'm sure they're going to focus pretty hard on walnut, but they said there's a lot of oak there where they're at. So ideally, I'd like to be able to send out a load of oak about every day. That's ideally. It doesn't always happen that way. Rarely does it actually, but it just kind of depends on what we're into, what we're cutting. On a job like this though, where you got some good sized trees, I think it's good to try to at least get a load out every day of the oak for what we do. I know for some of you guys a load of oak ain't nothing, but apples and oranges for the way we cut and where we're cutting and what we're doing. So we're gonna get the skid steer, bring it over here, get it fueled, and then we'll be ready for the first turn of logs. Up in the day, it's starting to get greasy, where the sun's hitting this deck. Let me think about things here. Let me think about things. I lay all my logs one direction. See, we're just sliding and spinning around here. A lot of spinning. I'll reach down here and grab this guy. We're kind of working our way forward, so we're making faster turns now with the skidder, which is good. I like to see that. Less downtime for me here on the deck. I try to constantly find things for myself to do down here, where it's greasing the machine, cleaning the debris out, sharpening my chains, just tinkering with saws. I hate sitting around. And some days it's part of it. You do a little more sitting around than you like. Pretty good chinka pin starting to come out too. Take the back way here around the old cottonwood. Pretty good pile of walnuts starting to collaborate. Of course, we're working on filling the oak pile back up. I like this. I equally, don't get me wrong, I always prefer to see the walnut fill up fast, but I like seeing that oak pile fill up fast too. Get that one, left a little sliver hold on it when I was bucking. I try not to do that, but at the same time I try not to cut down in the dirt. This whole walnut tree here was about 50 feet in length. I cut a 10, 4/8, and a 7 out of it. Of course, by the time you add those up and add the trim I add to each log, it's probably been just a hair over 50 feet. So I always try to put about 4 to 6 inches of trim on a log, depending on the quality of the log. Greasy, greasy. I said the next few days are supposed to be warm though, so it's only going to get worse. Down here, I mean, we're pretty mobile with the chains now. Actually, we would kind of like to see it get a little thawed out in a couple places back there on the back side. Let's see if I can flip that guy around there. We got a 10-footer here on the butt. I like making a lot of 10-foot cuts. I try to make a lot of 9s, 10s, and 12s. I make them whenever I can, just because they bring a little more money. But sometimes you got to do what's gonna make the best logs, get you the best amount of footage. So, like on the last tree, had so many crooks to it. I had to make several 8s, and that was okay. 8s has its benefits too. Get in there, guy. Walked off our entrance there. We'll do a 0 turn. We'll go back and grab this guy. Well, they're wanting to bail out a little early. I guess we'll be back tomorrow though. Got a pretty good pile of logs coming along. The deck full of walnut and chinkapin oak. Getting some more red oak and stuff brought back in here. Of course, we're still fighting the slop. We're still having some issues with that skidder there and how it's running. Don't think it's a filter. I don't know if we've got it's almost like it's a air and injector line or something like that. I don't know. Not a mechanic as I previously stated. But pretty good pile of logs. I hate not to work till closer to 5 or 5:30, try to get all the daylight we can, but they're wanting to bail out, so I guess we'll bail out. Mike's drumming over here.